G'day, I'm Pete Techman Coleman, and welcome to the road to InfoComm. And to help me on that journey is the bearded tech himself, Mark, the bearded tech scan. How you doing, Mark?
Pete, I am good. It's good to see you, and it's good
You
to be
excited about InfoComm?
I'm pretty excited, Pete, because we have got a special guest to
Very special.
To my left. I don't know if it's the same on same on your end. Roger Takis, it's great to have you from Lightware, Executive VP of the Americas. Did I get that right? I think I've nailed that.
You did. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Mark. You know, I just want to say, you've got to be looking so forward to going to Florida. I mean, just think about how much warmer it's going to be and how dehydrated you will be in no time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Get off that plane. Someone pass me a drink.
He's got his hoodie on at the moment, so yeah. It's obviously a little chilly where he is.
It's currently 6 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is. That's 35 or something. I don't know, 38 Fahrenheit.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, high 30s.
Cold enough. InfoComm's just around the corner for you guys. Lightware have got a really, really cool story to tell, but if we just cast our mind back a little bit, Lightware have been the godfathers of USB-C, and the godfathers as long as we can remember, right? What does that title mean really for Lightware, and how did Lightware sort of come on this journey of USB-C and that path? I mean, what does that look like sort of going forward?
Well, being called the Godfather has a lot of connotations in it that I'm a little worried about in some ways, but I'll go ahead and I'll accept the compliment for me, as you guys are awesome and know everything that you're doing. But really, Lightware spends a lot of time listening to people, and we listen to our customers, we listen to people like you, we listen to everybody out there, and when demand was starting to grow back in 2019 for USB-C solutions and full-featured USB-C to do everything that you could do, Lightware was listening, and Lightware was creating products, and Lightware was ahead of the market and trying to come up with something new and different and be a leader instead of a follower in this hot market of USB-C. And that's what ran us into the first Taurus that we brought to the market in 2021, which was, I mean, obviously, it has a little bit of success that's come along with it.
Had a lot of success, and I remember going back to those days. So it was either late 2019 or early 2020, somewhere around there. I had Jason Torrado come into the office with one of the engineers from Hungary, and he pulled out this box and he said, "What do you think of this?" And it was a Taurus, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like, it had USB-C on it. It basically ticked all those boxes, right? We used to have 3 or 4 boxes to do what the Taurus, the original Taurus does, right? With the USB, USB-C, HDMI, all the switching and combining and all that kind of good stuff. And that really, I think, obviously Lightware have been around for years and years before that, doing, like normal video switching and transportation and that kind of stuff. But that really, the Taurus really put Lightware on the map, into mainstream projects.
Oh, absolutely. If we look back, that first Taurus came out in 2021 when we introduced that. That's when Jason and possibly Gergely would have come out and introduced you to that Taurus back then. And it was such an exciting product. And the market was so ready to move into that new USB-C connector at that time. And it just happened to be that, listening to what people were asking for, we made the exact product that they wanted at that time, which was fantastic. The good news is that, we just continue to listen. And the way that it changed the company, look, we've been around for 26 years as a company. Yeah. And what we're talking about is that last 5 years. The first 18 years or so that Lightware was around, we focused on rental and staging. As a result of focusing on rental and staging, we really spent a lot of time and effort to make sure our products are rock solid. When we do 100% testing, 100% of everything comes out of Hungary, they all get on an airplane and go wherever they go around the world. But it has to work. The show must go on is always a mantra in this company. And so we brought that into the Taurus line, and that's why, we've done as much as we can to make the products as reliable as possible.
Yeah, and you certainly do listen to the people, because I said, that was a pre-production model that Jason brought out and showed me, and then it's like, what else do we need, right? And that was the whole idea. That was the whole ethos of Lightware. Like, what else do we need? How can we make this better, right? And then you added Dante to it, and then you've added point-to-point and dual screen, true extended desktop, all these things. And I know personally, I've given a lot of that feedback, and I know you guys listen, because every time we turn up to a show, you've got a new product that ticks that next box.
Right. Yeah, it's been quite amazing to be with Lightware for a little while now, and to watch the way that they want customer feedback. They want feedback from the market. They want consultant feedback, integrator feedback, end user feedback. We came out with that first box, which is a standalone box. Everything had to be within a cable lane. The number one thing that people said, we need to extend it. Exactly. And they were immediately working on ways to extend it. Yeah. But they didn't want to give up the 4K 64:4 video quality. They didn't want to give up the highest bandwidth that we could possibly get over that cable connection. And at the same time, as you said, Dante started to come into the picture as well. And we're not an audio company, so we had to learn how to do Dante and add Dante to the products to make Dante compatible with all the Dante products on the market, whether it's a DSP, a microphone system, speakers, whatever. We had to figure out a way to play with them as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. So your journey is far from over in the USB-C world. You're actually continuously evolving, right? And so what's happened now for you guys, and what do we if we turn to InfoComm, what are we starting to see expecting to see, I should say, at Orlando this week?
Well, in Orlando this year, we're gonna show everybody kind of the evolution of Lightware in the Taurus world when you come over to our booth, which is booth 3909, by the way.
Nice.
So when you come over to our booth, I got the plug in. The first thing what we're going to show you is baseline, what we introduced in 2021 as far as the capabilities, the auto switching, the full featured USB-C audio video charging network, USB host, all going over that single cable. We're going to show that capability to everyone who's never experienced that before. But from that point, we're going to assume everybody understands that that's available in every product as we move on to our extended product. And we're going to show just basic extension to a simple receiver. And then we're going to show extension to a receiver where I can have a rack behind the screen, and I can have additional sources with hosts that live behind that display. And then we're going to show, as you mentioned already, the dual screen extended desktop version of the Taurus. We're going to show our Dante Bridge version of the Taurus, because it turns out people wanted to find a way without having software to be able to bring the microphone from the ceiling to the desktop without having to have any additional software. Because I need to have it work on my soft codec that I'm using. And our Bridge Dante product does that. And you can even rename what it's called. You don't have to call it whatever model number we called it, even though their names everybody knows. It just happens to be that you can call it conference room audio. This year, and we're also showing another response to the market. The market said, hey, I love your products, but I want to put it in a rack, or I actually want to put it on a lectern. I want to put it in a lectern over in a classroom, and I need all the connectors on one side.
I can't wait to see this product, Roger, because that was like, as good as your product was, putting those boxes in a rack was a nightmare because you had cables on both, or connectors on both sides. And now you've got a rack-mounted version with all the inputs and outputs all on the front there, or all the back, depending which way you mount it, which is perfect. Once again, listening to the market.
Yeah, the market demanded that product from us.
100%.
So we are going to show that product. We did a couple really cool things on that product. I know I don't want to give away everything on a pre-opening call, but we did a couple really cool things. First off, we put that power brick inside the box, and it's still only one rack unit. Wow. So there's no more external power supply. And then we put a little PoE on there, so you could power a touch panel or something off of the network connections. Wow. Which is kind of cool as well. So that rack mount version of the Taurus transmitter is going to be a hot product. We really anticipate that. One of the other things that the market kind of said to us was, we love the Taurus, but only kind of need a docking station in some of these
Oh,
rooms. We don't need all this switching. We don't need to have two USB-C connections and HDMI. I just need a USB-C connection that outputs HDMI that picks up the camera in the room, but I also need it to sit on the network. I need to be able to
yep.
monitor it. I need to see when people are connected. I need to count how many times people are connected. So we're introducing, and this is the first time in North America it's being shown at a show, is the Smart Dock. It's our new one by one. I don't know why it's a one by one. It's a USB-C input to an HDMI
Yep.
output.
One to one.
But because we're doing something to it, it's a one by one. But
Yep.
we've got that on display. We've got a little tiny homegrown kind of monitoring system. It's not something we're selling. It's a template we'll give out to everybody for free. But we're going to show how you can monitor what's attached to it, how many times people have connected to it, and see in real time where people are sitting and where they're not sitting and connected to the system. So that's
I think
really exciting product.
that's really good information for our clients where they want to know what's going on. It's about we get that data is great, and that's a great application for that docking station. But I think bigger picture, imagine organizations putting one of those docking stations, a Lightware docking station, on every single person's desk. Because at the moment, the docking stations are basically brand specific, right? I've got a Dell laptop, so I have a Dell docking station. I have an IBM laptop, and so on. Well, I believe your docking stations are vendor agnostic or manufacturer agnostic. So you could use a Mac or a Dell or an IBM or whatever laptop you like, right? It's not, you don't have to, you're not tied down like you are with all the other manufacturers that make these kinds of laptops.
That's absolutely true. And one of the great things too is, a lot of the USB-C docking stations are a little box that have a little 6-inch dongle or a pigtail that comes off of them. Ours is a real box like our Taurus that you can put any length of USB-C cable on, and you can replace the USB-C cable if something happens. You don't have to throw away the dock. So it makes it very nice. 100-watt charging, control capability, and all that built into that as well.
Ticking all the boxes, Roger.
Yeah. No, thank you. I wish I could take more credit for that one, but I can take credit for a lot of things. That's not one of them. So one of the other really cool things that we're introducing for the first time ever at InfoComm this year is our new LoRa Wizard. So LoRa is our Lightroom advanced room automation software, resides on the Taurus. So we have a cloud-based version of LoRa now to do some of the basic simple things like some basic room automation, turn the display on and off, do some basic switching, and even build a basic touch panel to do the basic switching as HTML5. But it's all going to be done in a wizard, just like our Cisco wizard has been done for years online.
Yes.
Now Cisco will be built into the Taurus with a new wizard for the Taurus online in the new LoRa wizard. So we're very excited to show this to everybody as well, as everyone's walking around.
Yeah. Look, it sounds like it's a hell of a story you guys have got to tell and show. All right, look, this is the road to InfoComm, Roger. So people need to come and see you. You are at booth 3909.
3909.
All right.
Make sure. And I believe it's bigger this year. I believe you got a bigger booth this year, right? More space, more product, more demonstrations.
Yeah, we have the largest booth we've ever had. It's a 40 by 40 this year. And we've got 14 live demos in the booth, which is up from 7 last year.
Huge.
Wow.
Yeah, look, it's always a great visit to your stand, and Pete and I are really keen to really looking forward to come and saying g'day when we get there. Congratulations. We look forward to seeing you at InfoComm, stand 3909 at the Lightware booth. For those watching at home, come along, follow us here at the Tech Effect on LinkedIn, and we look forward to seeing all you guys at InfoComm 2025, and we'll see you too, Roger. Look forward to it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming on.